All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Manbitesfilm, episode 95.
No interruption today.
Lewis? Oh, he was muted.
We got away with it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
As always, I'm your host, Branden, and joining me is the man that should be interrupting me, Lewis.
Hey, guys.
And, of course, the other guy, my main man, the one that's always on my side, Williamphoenix.
Hey, everybody. Always a pleasure. Let's do this. I'm excited.
Let's do this. We're coming off of a high, which you won't know what we're talking about, but yeah. Or I am. I don't know if you two can attest to that.
Hell yeah. Yeah, let's do this.
I'm coming off of a high.
I'm still on my high, but like I said before, it's because somebody outside my window smoking weed. And so it's a different kind of high, but let's do this.
So, as always, if you're joining us for the 95th time or the first time, we are a weekly movie podcast where we talk about not movie news anymore, maybe sometimes the movie bucket list, and something else, which we'll be talking about in like 30 seconds. We got the main review, one movie every week. We got our new segment, Spiel Binge, with, of course, our guest, Zach, where he reviews Steven Spielberg films one movie every week. And then at the end of the show, we review 3 individual movies. So, William, what is this slightly new thing we're going to be trying this week?
So we got rid of movie news, and we have like the news section. And I feel that when we're talking about movies, sometimes every so often there's like a big debate out there or breaking news that I feel that should be talked about on the show. So
hopefully not Marvel shit all the time.
Hopefully not. No. Like this week just happens to be Marvel because it just happens.
Are you fucking kidding? God damn it!
But I'm going to step away from bucket list for this week because there's this big debate going on online right now, which you may or may not have heard. There's a rumor going around that Henry Cavill, which right now is the last time we saw him in a superhero movie was Superman, or he's also in The Witcher now as The Witcher. Geralt. Fuck.
Was that your impersonation of Geralt?
That was my very bad impersonation. Toss me a coin.
All right.
No points for you.
Oh wow.
You get lint.
Thanks.
Have you seen Witcher, Lewis?
I saw the first episode.
Same.
Shut up.
Same. I've only seen the first
more than you.
I know about the toss me a coin Witcher, the fucking song that everyone's losing their mind over.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But
I don't know.
It is what it is.
I'm waiting for the hype to turn down so I could actually enjoy it for what it is, rather than.
Well, I mean, you're gonna have to wait like 6 more seasons because they're doing 6 seasons of Witcher. So good luck with that.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it to hype down a little bit before I watch the rest of the.
I get you. You don't want to like you did today. With what was it that I was like settled down with the hype?
Oh, Aikido.
Yes, thank you. That. I was
Which
like,
anybody
down,
that hasn't seen Aikido from Akira Kurosawa, that is a must. It's on Criterion.
Did you say Aikido Kurosawa?
Aikido is the movie. Akira Kurosawa is the.
Oh, okay.
The
I thought you like got Akira mistaken with Aikido.
No,
so I was like, what the. Okay, so William, what are we doing in this new segment? I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. So the rumor going around is that Henry Cavill may be the next Wolverine. And I call this segment Take It or Leave It, which basically we just talk about, what the topic is, which is what I just said. And you can say why you take it and why you think it'd be a good idea, or you leave it why you think it'd be a bad idea or why you think it wouldn't work out. I personally am going to leave it. And that's because he's like I said, he's already signed on with 5 seasons of Witcher. And he's already mentioned that should they keep going with the DCU, I guess, or is it
DCEU? I think it is.
DC.
Yeah.
He wants to be Superman again now that he's allowed to shave again.
Yes,
see his face.
I would pay to see Superman with a mustache. I would pay.
All right, so
that.
So now, like, there's the whole thing with Marvel. First of all, Marvel will not allow Cavill to work with a Marvel film and a DC. He has a non-compete agreement, and if he does sign on, so meaning he wouldn't be able to do the DC. So Cavill already said that he wants to do Superman, so he's not going to do Wolverine. So that ends the discussion right there.
So, okay. Who do you think?
Point in case.
And that's our segment. No. Who do you think would make a good, a new good Wolverine?
Oh, man.
In the shadows of...
I don't know, because Cavill's too fucking tall, too. Cavill is like this giant man that you know, Wolverine is this fucking hobbit.
You know, yeah, but Hugh Jackman wasn't exactly, Warwick Davis.
When I think of
he's like Bloomberg height. You know, he's that tiny man.
When I think of Henry Cavill, I think of yoked out Henry Cavill from Mission Impossible. That scene when he's like fighting in the
for real
bathroom. Yeah. He's like he's fucking buff as shit in that scene. And
he's like mini Broly.
Yeah, like straight up. I just can't. And I know that Hugh Jackman was ripped for Wolverine, but like I just feel like Henry Cavill's just way too buff to. And I know I'm only thinking of that Henry Cavill, and he could change his like stature and shit like that by dieting and whatnot. But yeah, no, I don't see it.
I could also see like Gerald Butler playing Wolverine.
Gerard?
Yeah, that guy.
Gerald. Damn it, Gerald, come inside.
All I know is whatever Henry Cavill plays, I want him to have a mustache in it. I want him to have that.
Well, Wolverine has a mustache at one point, right?
No, he's just like,
he didn't have that
shadow at best.
No,
like he didn't have the freaking sex stash from the 70s.
No, man, no.
Oh,
By the way, today, the day that we are recording this episode, not the day that it releases, is the 3rd anniversary of the release of Logan. Today.
3/3. Look at that.
Oh,
it
yeah.
is. Oh!
So this is the 3rd anniversary on 3/3. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, 3/3. So yeah, Logan was released 3 years ago, which that movie is a banger.
Yes.
That movie is
one
incredible.
of the best Marvel movies ever.
Okay. But honestly, if I would go back...
best Marvel movie ever made.
Wow, that's a hot take right there.
By a long shot.
Okay, but honestly, going back, who would I want to play Wolverine? It's hard, man. Wolverine, I just feel like Hugh Jackman kind of personifies that character. It's hard.
We've been raised watching him play that role. So it's kind of hard.
Yeah, he's been the only Wolverine. Even when the other actors changed and they went through time, he's always been the constant. So now it's like, how do we replace somebody like Wolverine?
Gerald Butler.
Gerard
Butler.
There's an R, not an L. You know what? I'm going to leave it. No, fuck it. You know what, Henry Cavill? You go do The Witcher. And you say fuck to everything, and you have sex with plenty of women in that show.
All right, so it looks like we're all leaving it, and
kill many monsters. I need to get back on that show. I liked the first episode. I just been really lazy.
It gets a little confusing. I'm letting you know. So it's definitely not one of those like background shows that you're like you can watch every 5 minutes. No, you got to be glued. Because there's a lot of stuff that happens.
I was kind of confused in the first episode. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Coming from somebody that, mind you, I haven't played The Witcher 1 or 2, but I've played 3.
I didn't even know it was a video game.
Yeah, it's actually, so it's, originally it's a book, a Polish book series.
And
why are you laughing?
Because the first thing that popped into my mind, I must create Polish joke memes about this.
Oh my god! So first it was a Polish book series, and then this
it's like there. Come on, guys! It's like the Jewish nose. You got to make fun of it.
God! And then this video game developer by the name of CD Projekt Red developed 3 Witcher games, which that's when The Witcher, specifically with The Witcher 3, that's when The Witcher kind of skyrocketed
Yeah.
into like stardom, and then they decided to do the Netflix show.
Yeah.
Which now it has spawned books, games, shows, and music videos. So,
Music videos.
Right.
Well, yeah, like everybody doing their own rendition of Toss a Coin to the Witcher. It's still kind of like connected to it, so it counts.
I haven't even seen that.
So yeah,
okay.
I think we leave it. Henry Cavill go do other things. Isn't he also being part of the going back to
Mission Impossible?
Mission Impossible. Isn't he still on that franchise?
He's still on that franchise. He signed on to that franchise for 2 films.
Okay, spoiler alert. I don't know how they're bringing him back because he definitely died in a helicopter in the movie.
It is Mission Impossible. Dude.
There's always a way. There's
Exactly.
always a way. That's why it's called Mission Impossible, because it does the impossible.
Dude, supposedly they're bringing back a character from Mission Impossible 1 for the next movie.
Oh dear God.
Yeah, man.
It's a paycheck. Who needs
I love my Mission Impossible movies.
My money's going on John Voight. My money's going to John Voight.
I don't remember, but so is there a name for this thing that we might be doing every once in a while? I don't know. Hey, how about this?
Take it or leave it.
Fuck it or leave it.
Fuck it or leave it. How about this? Listeners, you let us know. What do you want? Do you want the movie? Do you want movie news? Do you want the movie bucket list? Or do you want fuck it or leave it, aka take it or leave it?
We'll put up a poll on Friday when this episode drops.
You let us know what you want, and you let us know if you like. You tell us what you want, because of course, without you, we wouldn't be doing this. So, stay tuned as this quick break. When we come at you, not live, never live. Actually, yes, live. Yes, live. With the main segment of our show, the main review, my pick, or your pick, Blue Ruin. All right, guys, welcome back for the main segment of our show. Live, not really live.
Live.
My pick, decided by you, the listener, Blue Ruin.
Even though I wanted Spring Breakers because it was so much fun.
I honestly, I'm not going to give myself a pat on the back, but I think that both of my choices were good choices.
Inspired.
And
I tip my glass to you, child.
So funny enough, I have watched both of these movies, Spring Breakers and Blue Ruin, but I've only seen them once, each of them, and it was a long time ago. Like, I saw Blue Ruin when it originally came out in 2013, and Spring Breakers whenever the hell that came out.
That was like 2 years
honestly
ago.
I remember that I enjoyed the movies, but I didn't remember too much about them. I just know that Spring Breakers is fucking ridiculous.
Oh, it was so much fun, though. It's so much fun.
Listen how happy Lewis is. Obviously, it's a ridiculous movie.
The one scene I remember from Spring Breakers is the scene when I know that we're not reviewing, but I just want to bring the scene up. When they're in the room and the girls start putting their guns in James Franco's mouth, like kind of signifying like he's sucking them off.
Yeah.
It's such a weird scene, dude.
Dude, James Franco is a chameleon in that movie too, by the way.
He really is. But
anyways, back to
what the listeners actually wanted. Blue Ruin is a movie directed by Jeremy Saulnier. Saulnier. What is his other?
Green Room, which is a fucking banger of a movie. That is in my top 50 of all time. It is a fucking glorious movie.
Second banger of the night, or first, depending on how you're listening to the show. All right, so Blue Ruin is about this guy by the name of Dwight, who is a drifter and
Murder Party. Sorry.
And what?
Murder Party, which is a fucking awesome comedy too.
Okay.
A dark comedy.
I think you've actually reviewed Murder Party on the show before. Yeah, look at that. See, I remembered. So we got Dwight, who is played by Macon Blair. And basically Dwight is a drifter. He's living out of his car basically in somewhere in the northeast of the country. I don't think they ever say where. Delaware?
They say Delaware, yeah.
Delaware, right?
Yeah. And
he catches wind, I don't know how, from this cop that surprisingly knows him. It doesn't really make any sense. But the cop proceeds to tell Dwight that
No, because the family used to vacation there all the time.
Oh,
the whole family used to vacation. Remember when he talks to the sister? Yeah, how'd you know?
So
because we go there constantly.
Yeah, and he saw her on the boardwalk. I totally forgot. So this cop proceeds to tell Dwight that the man that is responsible for the killing of his parents is being released from jail.
Yeah.
So Dwight decides to go down to Virginia to basically do something about it. I don't know how much we're getting into spoilers at this point.
Let's leave the spoilers out for this one because this is a good one. This is a good one for people to really enjoy, and I don't think a lot of people have seen this movie. Honestly,
I actually found out about this movie through a film podcast that I used to listen to a while ago. Frotcast. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
No, never. But I got introduced to them from Murder Party originally in 2007. I saw that at like one of these like rinky-dink movie theaters here, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is great!" And I've been watching every movie as soon as it comes out. When Green Room came out, oh my god, that was phenomenal! And then this one came out, and it's like, Sonier is definitely one of those titles that I have like on IMDb that it alerts me when a new movie's been announced of his.
Okay.
Because that's also how I got into True Detective. He actually does, I believe, 2 episodes. Yeah, he does 2 episodes
of what season of True Detective?
The last season, the 3rd season.
I've only ever seen the 1st season of True Detective.
The 3rd season's okay. It has its moments, but it is pretty decent. And also, Hold in the Dark was the one right after Green Room, and oh my god, that was freaking great. So good too, but that's not streaming anywhere, unfortunately. I think
so.
No, it's on Netflix. My bad.
How do you want to talk about Blu-ray? And like, I actually want to hear what you had to say, William, because we kind of talked about this off air, where you weren't too fond of this movie, right?
I mean, I'm not fond of the pacing of this movie. I enjoyed the movie. Again, it's a revenge movie. And, you know, we're going spoiler free, so that's all that I can say now. I had this beautiful speech all put out, ready to go.
Come on, Louis, give it to him, bud. Give it to him.
No.
We'll spoil at the end once we finish our
I am not necessarily a fan of movies that don't have a lot of talking. But at the same time, there are certain movies that I've enjoyed where there's very little dialogue, but you see so much that it keeps you entertained. This is a movie that's only like an hour and a half long, and it felt extremely long for me, to the point where like I was watching the last 15 minutes of the movie, and like with 15 minutes left, I clicked on the controller to see how much time was left, and I'm like, okay, 15 minutes left. That's cool, no problem. It literally felt like almost a half hour went by. Like, I had to check in. I'm like, is this over yet? Like, are we done?
Well, I think that's the intention of it. The intention of it is to walk in the footsteps of this one character during this period of time that's in turmoil. And I think the director did a great job of making you feel what this character felt. Like, you are in that world that he did. You're feeling what that character felt.
Oh yeah, no, you absolutely do, and I'm not taking anything away from the movie. It's just like, it's not necessarily like my cup of tea as far as like thriller, revenge movies go. But I mean, the movie itself, like when he's at the shooting range and it looks like he's about to die, and what happens, and you're like, okay, well, that was actually pretty cool. Like the special effects on that, it's just the way that it happens. Again, I'm trying not to do spoilers. Is definitely very well done. And
head trauma is always great.
Head trauma is always great. I love how his friend that he hasn't seen in 15 years is like, "Oh, you need a gun? Here, you want this, or you would rather have that? Here, have like a rifle. This is a semi-automatic." Doesn't really ask any questions. It's just kind of like.
But don't you have friends like that? Don't you have friends like that you could go to and they will literally no questions asked, give you whatever you want?
I will plead the Fifth Amendment under for that question, for the simple fact that it may or may not come back to bite me in the ass. So I'll just leave it at that. Overall, it's a good movie. It's not a movie that is a horrible movie. Would I recommend it to somebody who's into that style of movie? Absolutely. I'd be like, check out this movie. Make sure that you have some monster with you because you may fall asleep. I did not, for the record. But it is definitely not like it's not a movie I'm gonna rush back to and like watch again and be like, oh my god, I can't wait to see this movie again. Probably, I give it like a good 7.5 out of 10.
Nice, Branden. How about you?
Yeah.
Because we're gonna come back with spoilers after.
So I disagree with William in the sense that I think the pacing in this movie is actually fine. I think that this movie goes by quickly.
I agree with you.
Unlike the other movie that we talked about earlier tonight, which is for another recording, which you guys will hear later. I thought this movie went perfectly fine. It was the hour and a half felt like an hour and a half. It didn't feel rushed. It didn't feel slow. It was just enough. And I remember liking this movie when I first watched it. And watching it again, I think I still very much enjoy it. Yeah. I think it's a good revenge film. And I think that Macon Blair, the guy that plays Dwight, does a good job.
He does.
Playing Dwight.
He's also in Murder Party as well. And he does a fucking phenomenal job in that movie too. And it's just that everyday man. Like he is that every person. Yeah, he kind of fits the mold to anybody and everybody, even when he does the shaving and everything.
Yeah.
Shifts his tones and everything. I love that. Like there's a couple lines in this film that just make you feel for him and make you feel sympathy for him, but also get dragged into the story. It's the reason why I love Clockwork Orange, is because you get dragged into the story and you are put into where that character feels. And I fucking love that aspect of this movie.
My thing is, my gripes with the film are, I feel like the what is the family called? The Cleveland?
Yeah, the cult.
I'm gonna say spoilers, I guess, here for like slightly spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, just stop right here and then come back.
Okay.
I just find it hard to believe that this family is that evil. That they're this fucked up.
I've met families that are like that. That the whole family is literally fucking. It's this backward ass family that they look up to this one head figure person, and they're completely like just horrible people. And the only person that they had in the whole family that was good was one person, and the rest of that family was shit. So I've seen it. I've seen it before.
Just, man, like the entire like film, you're just like, holy shit, this family's god awful. Like, why are they like this? And you could tell they're like trailer trash, basically.
Oh hell yeah, 100%. And it just adds to the whole story, though. Like when they're kind of seeking revenge and all that stuff, you feel for this character, which is what you're supposed to do. It is very like over the top. It's done over the top for a reason, though.
Yeah,
it's done for that effect of feeling what this character feels, because obviously somebody that's actually going through the emotions, it's going to be different for them, you know. And I like that aspect, though, because we're in his shoes. Mm-hmm. That's what this film is about. It's that perspective, that point of view of this family.
So, it's incredible how different he looks from like right at the beginning when he's got like the long hair and the beard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then he just like shaves completely and he steps out of the shower and you're like, this is a different actor. Like this cannot be the same actor that was under like that shaggy look that he just had.
He actually looks chubbier when he like shaves his head and stuff. It's weird.
With all that hair, dude.
No. Like the opposite. Like he looks skinnier with all the hair. And then when he shaves his beard and his hair, he looks chubbier.
That's what happens, though. Like the same thing with me. That's why I don't shave my beard completely off, because I have no neck. I look.
Oh, fat. That's true. Yeah. Like the papa, your gobble starts.
I look fatter if I shave my whole beard off.
Same happens to me. But so I'll give this movie a 9. I honestly, I love revenge stories. I think anyone, if it's a good revenge story, I think anyone can get behind it.
This is a 9.5 out of 10 for me. I've watched this movie about 6 or 7 times.
God damn. The thing is, it's not your typical revenge story.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's very much like it follows type of pacing even and storyline. It feels like that. It feels like an A24 it follows-esque film.
If you want like visceral like revenge, like this man is like brutally fucking, as horrible as that sounds, brutally fucking murdering these people that have wronged him.
It's not that.
That's not what you're going to get in this movie.
No. It's very methodical. It
yes.
is very like paced on purpose. And it's for a reason though, and it does it well, I believe, honestly.
So what spoilers I got us at this point for let's just get straight into spoilers. What do you guys want to bring up?
The killings in the movie are very well done.
Fucking love them.
The buckshot look when he gets shot towards like at the end, and he comes to grips with the reality that he's going to die, and he still is able to kill the two women who are. I don't understand why he waited to pull the trigger. Like once the sister started going, or the mother started going down to get the Uzi or whatever it was that she got, like I would have shot her first
because he's human. I feel like I think a part of him doesn't want to kill those people because they themselves haven't wronged him. Well, that's why he left the voicemail expecting them to react a different way. I love that voicemail when he's like, we could end this right now or it could be different and we could just kill each other. Yeah. I don't know. It's so... I feel like Dwight is just very human and he doesn't want to kill these people, but they've backed him up into a corner. And honestly, he has nothing to live for. Yeah, he's a drifter. Like, he has a really shitty relationship, unfortunately, with his sister. Basically, no relationship with her. His parents are dead. It's never... By the looks of it, he has no other family. You get the inkling that he actually witnessed the whole murder and everything, and he is completely mentally unstable, too. To the point where he cannot physically deal with life. And that's why he became a drifter. So that's why he has nothing to lose in this film. And he just says, fuck it. I don't want to drag my sister down. The only reason she's involved is because of my fucking car. And I fucked it up and left the car somewhere where they would find out who it was. Yeah. But that's the only thing that stops him. And I think it humanizes him. It humanizes that character, and that is important because that's what this film is all about: is the humanization of a mass murderer. And that's what this guy is. You guys, he doesn't kill one of the sisters. Actually, the sister kills her own sister. Yeah, technically. When she gets to Tech 9 below the fucking recliner, she shoots her own sister. Yeah, and then he shoots her. And I love how the son that is the offspring of this whole situation is the only survivor in this, and the sister obviously, but this is out of all this bloodshed, the spawn of this incident that started this whole commotion. It's so fucking Shakespearean how that ended. It's so great. To go back on what we were talking off air, William, that you said that like if the son would go, like the one that survives would go back and try to kill Dwight's sister. I don't think so. I think the kid doesn't want anything to do with that shit. I think he's just done with it. I think he realized that the father wasn't the father that he thought. And then he's like, oh shit. Yeah, I just think he realized his family was just pieces of shit. And that's it. He just doesn't want anything to do with it. You know, unfortunately, yes, he shoots Dwight and mortally wounds him, but, you know. Yeah. I don't know.
It absolutely makes sense. Yeah. And because, like, for those that don't know, like, before we were talking off the air, I was talking about, like, do you think that the boy is now going to go after the sister and that the circle will continue because now he wants revenge for his family? But Branden makes an excellent point. Like, he doesn't want anything to do with that. Even when he has the chance to do something when he's in the limo, when Dwight grabs the limo and runs off or drives off, he runs away. Like, you can see him running away, like, if you want to say symbolically, away from the situation.
Yeah.
That's what he decides to do. And I think that's what he's doing at the end as well. He's just like, I'm getting into a car and leaving. Like, I want nothing to do with this.
For instance, when he shoots Dwight, I think he fires out of at first wanting to protect himself and his family. Yep. And then once he shoots Dwight, he realizes like, oh fuck, like I shot a guy and he's dying. I don't want anything to do with this anymore. I'm not a killer. I think that's what he realizes. I'm not a killer.
Probably.
And, that's it. It goes from there. I think it's a really cool revenge story, and I think everyone should experience this movie. Would I watch this again? I don't know.
I love this movie. Again, I think it's a really definitely recommend it.
I think it's a really good movie, though.
So yeah, anybody else had anything?
No, I honestly, this is streaming on Netflix. Yes. It's a really good revenge film, not your typical revenge film. So go in it with those noises, with an open mind, and honestly, I think the listeners will enjoy it.
Agreed, 100%. Also, if you want to check out Green Room, it is actually streaming on Netflix as well.
Yes, I know that too. Yes. Which I've actually never seen Green Room. I know you're gonna probably slap me for that one.
Yeah, it's good. It's has what's his name, Picard in it.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, and he plays a skinhead.
Oh my god!
Completely
all right, guys.
Out of character, but yeah, it's great.
All right, guys, stay tuned for this after this quick break when we come at you with our new segment with Zach. Spiel Binge. All right, guys, welcome back for our very brand new segment, Spiel Binge. With our lovely guest, as always, Zach.
I'm Zach.
Hey. So if you guys remember, Zach every week for 32 weeks,
33
weeks, thank you.
Yep.
Is reviewing...
32 questionable because, there's a couple movies. There's one movie in there in particular that it's not really Spielberg's. I'm sorry.
Tomato. So every week, Zach is going to be reviewing one Steven Spielberg film. I had a brain fart there with the man's name. And today's film is...
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yes! Oh. That's a banger of a film.
The banger has returned. The statement that has become like a staple of our show. Banger.
A banger.
That's right. I cannot afford film school, so I'm watching through the Spielberg filmography and learning as I watch. And this week, I got another banger, as one would say.
Mash it in there. Mash that banger in there.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Spielberg, he wrote it as well as directed it. It's a sci-fi thriller. It's really kind of genreless in terms of its blend of so many different tones and ideas. But it follows, again, Richard Dreyfuss, same as in Jaws, who he's just a very much like an everyman kind of figure who he's investigating a power outage that's going across the town, and then he encounters the UFOs, and is plagued with ideas and images in his head that were perhaps put there by that, and it's exploring perhaps his descent, perhaps his enlightenment, and it is amazing.
Yes, it is. And the fact is that this is one of the very few, I think only Sugarland Express and this film were actually written by Spielberg.
Yeah, I do believe that is correct.
Yeah, it's written by him. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, it's only 2 films in his whole collection that are actually written and directed by him.
What's the other one?
This one, Sugarland Express.
Oh, Sugarland Express, okay.
Yeah, we talked about that 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
So this one he wrote. It's inspired by his first ever film that he did as like a student thesis kind of thing.
Okay.
What was the name of it? It's Sky.
Falling Skies, I think.
Falling Skies. There you go. Yeah.
And it's lost. The film reels no longer exist. There's only like 10 minutes available scattered across the internet.
Yeah.
And so knowing
probably
that this was
horrible quality. Probably.
No, actually, no. I've seen like the clips of it, and it's actually, you see a lot of Spielberg-esque shots from the very
it's just
beginning.
like poor picture quality.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like poor picture quality. Like
well, I mean, it's Super 8. It's
yeah.
So this one is him carrying forward those ideas and finally blowing them up to their fullest potential, and it rocked my brain.
Oh, dude, what do you think about like the subtext behind this film? Since you just recently saw it, what do you think that this was? Because it's written by Spielberg, there has to be a personal annotation behind the film, I believe. Because why would he write it?
You. And this is going to seem like an unusual comparison for a second, but so I just saw a rep screening of Inception the other night at the theater near me. And so that's kind of been rattling around in my head. And so watching this one and seeing another film about it being plagued by an idea, having it just grow and fester in your brain and manifest itself in different ways, that really felt like a similar type of theme to me, seeing Richard Dreyfuss just like get this spark and the way that it spirals, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I think that there's this personal connection with Spielberg and Dreyfuss's character. I think that Spielberg put a lot of himself in Richard Dreyfuss, that kind of tortured artist that still wants to have a family life, but is a tortured artist.
Is struggling with what's going on in his brain, yeah.
And juggling both of those obsession, because pretty much every artist, let's be real, we obsess over things.
And that's at its core what this movie is about, is obsession.
Yeah. I think it's such a personal little tribute to any artist out there. And I think that's why this movie connects so much with so many different people through the ages.
I feel that. It is interesting in that I hadn't watched this in a little while, but I remember the first time that I watched it, finding it to be almost like a horror thriller kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like, it was very intense. I didn't know where we were going, and I don't mean to spoil anything, but my first assumption is, like, oh, these, like, monsters from space, like, what are they doing? They're controlling the electronics, they're all this stuff, and it's, like, scary. But now knowing motivation, knowing how it all turns out and everything, it's a totally different film a second time around.
Oh, yeah. You watch this and over again, you get different aspects and you you gravitate towards this, because I remember watching this as a kid and being intrigued by the whole alien idea and all that stuff. And then watching this as a teenager and then being intrigued by the whole obsession that Dreyfuss had. And now watching it as an adult again, you get this family aspect and this kind of breakdown in communication with the family because of his obsession and playfulness and kind of childlike personality. And it's so good when you find a film like that kind of transcends all age ranges. It's not scoped down to a target audience and done specifically for somebody by a big conglomerate that's, basically shooting out these films. This is a personal.
There's something personal but still universal about this movie.
Yeah.
What's funny is that, like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go, please.
Oh, no, I was going to say, like, a fun fact on my when I first saw this movie, it was in Italian. I want to say I was maybe
I feel like every film you watch for the first time is in some sort of different language than English, which I know is because you lived in Europe, so
growing up. But I mean, I watched it with my dad, and I asked him, I'm like, what's the name of the movie? And he goes, Close Encounter of the Third Kind. And for the longest time, I thought this was the third installment in a trilogy. Because I thought there was somewhere out there was Close Encounter of the First Kind, Close Encounter of the Second Kind, and this was the third movie that came out in this trilogy. And I tried finding the other two for the longest time, and obviously came up with nothing until I realized, oh wait, it's just the one movie. All right, I get it. That's cool. Moving on. So, but I remember watching it and not really getting it when I was a kid. Also because you literally, like, to quote the Bill Murray movie, Lost in Translation. When you go from the original language to a foreign language, case in point, my roommate is Italian and she watches a lot of Netflix on the PlayStation, but she watches it in Italian with the English subtitles. And you can see how different, like, some conversations are completely different than what they actually are in English. And because they have to, like, try and make it match more the words, like, their lips than what it's as actually being said.
Okay.
So there were definitely, like, certain things which, when I watched it in English later on in life, I was like, oh, this makes so much more sense. I get it now. Okay, that's great. Which made it more enjoyable as well. But definitely a great Spielberg movie. I don't know if it fits in my top 10, but it is definitely a movie which I'll watch like once a year just to watch it again. Obviously, I haven't watched it this year yet, but
No.
But it's good to see how, like, even the special effects,
dude, they still hold up.
They still hold up the test of time for
It
something
looks
that was done 43 years ago now, something like that. Yeah, 43 years ago.
77.
Yeah.
Right. There are special effects which are done 10 years ago, which you look at now and you're like, wow, They spent zero money on this budget. So that's I like it. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Now, what's interesting, you brought up the language barrier, particularly with this movie. Something that really gripped me. So John Williams really came into his own on this score, to the point that you could take away the audio, and I think the visuals and this music would still communicate the story, was something that really hit me on this watch.
Yeah. And that's what Spielberg challenged him. Spielberg challenged him and said, I want to make a movie that's for the visually impaired.
Yes, okay.
For somebody and he does that proficiently in this.
He's absolutely come into his own voice. I mean, we're getting these oneers, we're getting like all, it's
funny. The reason I've been quiet this time for the listeners is I haven't seen this movie in a very long time, since I think I was a kid. But ironically, the scene that I remember the most is the one with all the colors and like the song.
Yeah.
Everything else I don't remember. That's why I've been super quiet. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, that's the only reason I've been super quiet. I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid, which is probably doing a disservice to myself. I should definitely watch this as an adult.
Yeah, there's like a whole other 2 hours of content there.
Yeah, exactly.
I honestly think that, like, if you stop and think about it, every Spielberg movie has that one iconic scene that even if you don't remember, like in Brandon's case right now, it's like, I don't remember the movie. I remembered that one scene. And if you stop and think about it, E.T. has it. This movie has it. Jaws has it.
Yep.
Like, even Indiana Jones, every single one of the Indiana Jones ones has it, whether it's, the good ones or the one bad one, which I don't know if we'll even admit that it
Shut up. All four are good.
Even
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Thank you, Zach, for saying that Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I agree.
Or not good, but at least that you enjoy it and you don't think it's a bad movie.
We'll get there.
I can't wait for that episode. But yeah, no, I just wanted to think that, because when I think of Close Encounters, that's the one scene that I think about the most, is the color of the lights and then the opening of the spaceship. Do I remember the context? To the detail that Zach does? Absolutely not. But I remember that, and it's like, that's like the first two things that pop into your head, which I think it's great. Every movie should have that. Every movie should have like that one scene where you're like, I don't remember the movie, but I remember that.
But this image really stuck with me. Yeah, no.
Yeah. And there's another amazing thing that I remember watching it last year, I think it was, that I rewatched this, but was the whole fact that all these different races are represented in this film. All these different languages are represented in this, and there's kind of this loss in translation, like Branden and William said, that there is this loss in translation with the human race, and then all these different countries come together on Devil's Tower, and not all of them speak the same language. As you see, like Francois Truffaut's character is French and doesn't speak a lick of English, and is able to word and kind of figure out all the different things that are going on by communicating with hand signals and the music.
The music that turns the hand signals, they find like nonverbal ways to communicate, which is again kind of feeding into what you said earlier about trying to
And the whole thing of like the first thing that popped into my head after just putting this together during this show right now is this is the freaking Tower of Babel reverse. And it's like all these languages broke apart all of humanity because God said, all right, you guys can't touch the heavens. Let's break all these people by basically creating different languages. And that way they have no way of communicating with each other. Mm-hmm. And then this is bringing all those languages back together and allowing
at the top of this tower-like structure. I'm sure that went through at least somebody's mind.
Yeah. And I just never thought of that until now. And I was like, holy crap.
Metaphors.
Speaking of haven't thought about it until now, and maybe it's just me, and I don't know if it was done on purpose as like homage to Close Encounters, or it was just kind of like stolen from it. But if you fast forward to 1996, what other movie has the Earthlings communicating with bright lights and music to aliens? Independence Day. When the helicopters go up to it.
Yes.
Was that an homage? Was that a coincidence? We don't know. But it's
Independence Day very much feels like the cynical sister film to this.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like, even Will Smith with the famous line, now that's what I call a close encounter. That's dead on, like, okay, Spielberg. Tip of the hat. Great. But
hey, Roland Emmerich had a thing for Close Encounters. God knows who the hell knows. Maybe.
Hey, but let's talk about the cast. Besides Richard Dreyfuss, Francois Truffaut, which is another
Truffaut. Like what?
Dude, wow. I don't know if you guys have ever seen any of the Truffaut films.
Mm-hmm.
No, sir. I do not think I have.
William?
You would have to tell me what they are, and I could tell you yes or no.
Breathless.
We did a bunch of new wave stuff.
Yeah, it's all French new wave films. Breathless is probably his most famous.
He was Breathless. That's what I thought. Yeah.
And what do you call it? Day for
1,000
Night.
Blows or 100 Blows.
Yeah, 400 Blows. Jules and Jim is my favorite of his personally. That's in my like top 20 movies of all time for me.
What's his name again?
Francois Truffaut.
Truffaut. I like when you say it. It's like me saying Joaquin Phoenix, dude. Like
you have to pronunciate it correctly.
Francois Truffaut.
Francois Truffaut.
Truffaut.
Oh, he passed away 7 years after Close Encounters.
Huh.
Yeah.
He died in 1984.
Mm-hmm.
But
that young, 52.
So sad.
He did a bunch of movies that are really famous. He really like sparked the French New Wave into the modern audiences and really captured.
Oh, Fahrenheit 451.
Yeah, he did that one too. That's his only English. That and Day for Night are his only English films.
Mississippi Mermaid looks familiar, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh, he did Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
There you
that
go.
Sounds interesting. We should talk about that sometime.
What do you call it? What would you give this movie?
8, 9. I mean, this knocked me out again.
All right, William, how about you?
I give it a good 9.
Yeah,
Branden, at least.
I'm gonna give it cool colors out of 10.
Cool color. I'm like, what the hell's cool color?
That's what I'm gonna give it. Cool colors out of 10, baby.
Okay.
5 tones out of 5.
10 out of 10 for me, 100%.
Damn, another 10 out of 10, bro. Woo!
Yeah.
Well, okay.
That Spielberg guy, he's onto something.
Yeah, he's definitely onto something.
Let's take a little bit from like the bucket list. Where in your Spielberg list would you put this movie?
Top 3.
Damn.
So
top what?
Top 3.
Top 3.
Yes.
Okay.
So far, I do it's neck and neck, but I gotta put this right below Jaws as 1 and 2.
So, so Jaws is your number one Spielberg
I believe
film?
so far Jaws is my number 1, yes.
Okay, what's your number one? What's your number one Jaws film? No, what's your number one?
Jaws 3D. Is
that... No, it's Jaws the Revenge, Zach. Come on, man.
Yes, of course.
No, I was gonna ask William, what's your number one Spielberg film then?
That is a hard question because there's so many. Like right now, I'm stuck on Indiana Jones, but I know it's not Indiana Jones. There's like my top one, or my top. I think like maybe. Well,
you're talking like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm thinking the second one, which is my favorite.
The Temple of Doom. Okay.
Temple of Doom is probably top 3.
Kalima Shakti Day. Sorry, that scene just.
It was just scary how all of a sudden it just came out like it sounded like it was like a movie clip straight out of it. I'm like, wow, hey, man. That was fast. Like,
movie
it up real fast.
The movie that created PG-13, bro.
Yes.
Yep.
That and Gremlins, right?
Yeah,
yep.
I think it was Gremlins in that one. Yeah. So okay, so wait, you're going with the Temple of Doom, or you're going with another one, William?
I mean, I'm trying to go through as many Spielberg movies as I possibly can through my head.
Hey, I mean, we're only 4 deep. We can come back to this question.
Yeah, we could definitely come back to it.
I think we may, because like I would have to literally like go through just to piss off Lewis, Warhorse.
I've never seen Warhorse, but I've heard atrocities, dude.
Sorry, I always forget Spielberg movie, and I will put this as my number 1 for so many reasons. Hook.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna do it. I was waiting for it. I was like, okay, come on, it's gotta be Hook.
So, what's your number 1 for now, Lewis? That this may change
Raiders.
over time. Raiders. Oh, interesting. Mine is Jaws, of course. This is my favorite movie.
Mine is Raiders, Catch Me If You Can, and then Close Encounters.
Wow, Jaws doesn't even hit the top 3.
It's
Get out
in the
of
top 5. It's
Get
in the
out
top
of here.
5 for me.
Get out of here, man. I've lost all.
If I may briefly, you brought up Warhorse and the contentious response to that. So I have a very personal Warhorse story of I wrote a one-man show that I did, and it had a bunch of cultural references, and one of them was Warhorse. I just referenced riding my Warhorse, and everybody, all the producers and everybody, they let me pass this through. They're like, yeah, whatever, Warhorse. And then I come to opening night, and I give the Warhorse joke, and there's no reaction.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, wow, am I the only person who remembers Warhorse? Like, and this was only like 2 years after the movie came out or so. So then the next night, I came to the joke and I say, whatever, Warhorse. No one responds. So then I start explaining Warhorse, and that becomes the joke. So then, on closing night, I go about it. I say Warhorse. No one's laughing. So then I start explaining the plot of Warhorse, and no one's laughing. And so I wind up giving an impromptu, like, minute-long monologue about Warhorse to dead silence.
It's funny. I've never seen Warhorse. So I just know it's really like people just don't like it.
It is perfectly okay. I have no strong feelings either way. It's fine.
Okay.
But
we'll get there eventually.
What were the first 2 Spielberg movies that we covered?
Duel and Sugarland Express.
Yep.
Yeah,
Did we miss? Because like I'm looking at the Spielberg movies. There's a movie that's got him as a director from 1964 called Firelight.
Firelight. That's
the one that we're talking about.
It's not Blank Skies. It's Firelight. That's the one that is lost and inspired Close Encounters.
Yeah, that's a student film.
That's a student film. Okay, cool.
Firelight.
Never mind.
Awesome.
Also, somebody decided to smoke weed right outside my door or my window, and it's seeping in. That's great. So what's worse, having the noise, but at least seeping weed inside does not make noise.
This is very true. On that note, again, thank you so much, Zach, for joining us.
Thank you all.
Awesome.
Always a pleasure.
Always. Spiel binge. And what's the movie next week?
Next week is, I believe, 1941.
Yes.
Awesome. All right.
Bellucci.
So stay tuned after this quick break. When we come at you, Not live.
Louis just like has an orgasm at least one per episode.
Probably never live with the individual
no
reviews.
live orgasms. None.
All right, guys, welcome back for the final segment of our show, the individual reviews. I don't know why I said it that way, but we're gonna go. I'm gonna be going first this week. So this is a movie I've never seen before, and the reason I finally decided to watch this movie was because if you are a Star Wars fan and have Disney Plus, the Clone Wars final season just came out 2 weeks ago, right?
Oh,
yeah. So I decided to start rewatching, or let me rephrase that, finally finish Clone Wars, like catch up, because I know the gist of what happens, but I've never fully seen the show. But a part of me was like, damn, I've never seen the movie that started it all. The Clone Wars movie, the animated one from 2000, what is it, 8?
there's an animated movie for it?
Yeah.
Wait, wow.
Yeah.
Something new every day.
Yeah. It's called Star Wars: The Clone Wars. It's basically a precursor to the show of the same name from 2008. Basically, the movie shows of how Anakin meets Ahsoka, how she becomes his Padawan, all that stuff. And basically the movie is about them trying to save Jabba the Hutt's son.
Eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
The movie's bad. It's bad.
Well, that's good to know.
It's not good because, as you know, if you've seen Clone Wars or Rebels, they use computer animation, but it's 2008, and the computer animation does not look good. They look wooden almost. Like if you, the listener, you guys, if you want to like go on YouTube and check up like scenes of the movie, it just looks weird. They look like wooden marionettes. The animation just doesn't look fluid. It's just off. And the writing is really weird. And Jabba the Hutt's son looks so weird. Imagine Jabba the Hutt just mini. Like literally imagine Baby Yoda, but Jabba the Hutt.
No wonder nobody talked about it, because nobody wants to picture that.
The only cool thing about the movie is, honestly, it is cool that this movie sparked the Clone Wars, the TV show, which
the Clone Wars TV show is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
that is actually
the show is phenomenal, and it's cool to see how Anakin meets Ahsoka. Ahsoka is originally meant to be Obi-Wan's Padawan, but Yoda's like, haha, psych, she's gonna be your Padawan. That's honestly like the best thing I could say about the Clone Wars. I'd give it like a 3.
Damn.
It's bad. It's really bad.
Lewis rating.
And that's streaming on Disney Plus, right?
That's streaming on Disney Plus. It's not the worst Star Wars movie though.
No, that's the Clone Wars.
We're seeing a pattern here.
That goes to Attack of the Clones, and then right after that, Rise of the Skywalker, because that movie is hot garbage.
Are we not talking about the Christmas special?
No,
that goes without saying.
Yeah, that goes without saying.
That's on a whole other level.
Even though, if you think about it, if it wasn't for the Christmas special, Boba Fett wouldn't exist.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did.
No,
actually, he's introduced in the Christmas special.
Yeah, I know, introduced, but I'm pretty sure that character was written.
All right, so yeah, that's my spiel on the Clone Wars. Not a good movie. Actually, go watch it. It's a train wreck, and it's kind of funny.
So the movie that I'm actually going to be bringing to you guys is actually streaming on Tubi, which it's a free network, but there is commercials, unfortunately. And the movie that I'm actually going to be bringing is it's actually directed by somebody that we're going to have as a guest on our show in a few weeks. The movie is Groupers. This is basically this woman kidnaps 2 homophobic assholes at a bar and ties them up in the deep end of an empty pool and decides to tie them up in this very overly elaborate way and puts their dicks in a Chinese finger trap.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So
I knew there was going to be something. Because I'm like, this is not a movie that, like, yeah, this is a movie that Lewis would watch, but there's got to be a twist in there somewhere. There it is. The dicks in the Chinese finger prison cell, whatever that was called.
Yeah, which it is awesome. It is directed by Anderson Cowan from the Film Vault and Cinematics, and we will eventually have them on here as well. And this movie is fun. It is a dark comedy. It's the characters land their performances in fun ways, with the exception of two random ones that just, they're kind of out of place, but at least for me, I enjoyed them being out of place, but a lot of people might have issue with them. And there's an extreme abundance of references to Stanley Kubrick in this film, like extreme abundance. One of the characters has the eyelashes from Alex from A Clockwork Orange. He even says Droogs. I mean, there's a bunch of little Easter eggs in this film.
So, in other words, everybody in the population in the world is going to probably get 3 of them, whereas Lewis has like volume 1, 2, and 3 already going. Just to let you know, if you don't catch them all, it's okay. You're not Lewis.
But honestly, it is an independent film. This is his first feature film, 100% feature film. And let me tell you, for it being his first, it's pretty damn good. And I've been listening to this guy on podcasts for a long time, and we'll go into that when we do his episode. But honestly, like, I was kind of like, oh boy, let's see what movie I'm going to be watching. And I was pleasantly surprised. I wanted to make you guys watch this, actually. But I was like, you know what? You guys will watch it eventually, hopefully, and make your own opinion of it. And I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. But this is a 7.5 out of 10. It is an enjoyable movie. It is good. And It has memorable lines that you will never forget. And it has fun characters, man, especially if you're into like 80s, 90s punk films and Stanley Kubrick, of course.
Where is it streaming?
On Tubi.
Okay, this has commercials and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Tubi is actually pretty cool because I went back and watched it again on Tubi just to see how the experience was. And the commercial breaks are actually done in a tasteful way. It's not like mid-sentence of somebody, you know? It's not like YouTube. They actually do put it in a way that actually sets up the structure for the film. So it's enjoyable, and the commercials don't take away anything at all from it.
Don't you own this movie?
I do, but I wanted to watch it on Tubi to see.
Oh, okay, just to like as an experiment or whatever?
Yeah, I wanted to see where the breaks were and all that stuff, and I really enjoyed it enough to go watch it again. Okay. Yeah, so I gotta
finally catch this movie because you've been raving about it. So
yeah, it's a fun one.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, that's my review for the week.
Cool.
All right, so William, what's yours, bud?
Round us up.
Mine is actually a TV show that is on Amazon Prime. I went in.
We can't do The Boys again. We cannot do The Boys again.
No, we're not doing The Boys again. Boys, season 2. No. I went into this knowing I was going to enjoy it because I already knew what the premise was. Plus, it stars Al Pacino, which is one of my favorite actors. I did not realize that also Josh Radnor from How I Met Your Mother is in it. The show is a 10-episode season. I don't know if there's going to be more than one. It's called Hunters.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's, I mean, if you were to bring this up into a tagline, it's basically hunting Nazis in America.
Oh, this show. I've been seeing commercials of this shit all the time. Yes.
It is good.
Yeah.
This show will get you hooked with, like, it usually takes me about an episode, maybe 2, to get hooked to a show. I was literally hooked to this show within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, this is Jordan Peele.
First 5 minutes,
yeah.
Three kids die, 2 wives, a husband, neighbors, all by one guy within the first 5 minutes of the show. And you're like, okay, if you want to have a show that hits the ground running, this is it. It takes place between, right now we're in 1977 because one of the scenes is one of the protagonists walking out at the end of the first Star Wars movie, which we all know came out in 1977.
Yeah.
It also shows a black lesbian woman in the rank FBI around those times. So it covers so many different aspects of life and society. Mostly New York City, but there's parts where they go in Tampa. There's parts where I think it was like South Carolina or North Carolina. And basically it's this underground war, obviously years after the Second World War has ended, where Nazis are still trying to get rid of all the Jews. But now they're fighting back. And there's also flashbacks, and they're graphic, but there's flashbacks of some of them when they were younger in concentration camps. So definitely a warning on that if you have anybody, family, or if you yourself are a survivor of concentration camps. It is definitely very heavily depicted in this show. I am 2 episodes in, and the only reason why I'm only 2 episodes in is because I started watching it with my girlfriend, and she likes it as well. So I made a deal that I'm not going to watch it without her, because if that was not the case, I probably would have. I had today off. I probably would have binge watched it the entire, and I would be talking about the entire show. So the first 2 episodes are great. The pacing is great. The first episodes, it's an hour and a half, so it's about the length of a movie, but that's because it sets up very much about what's coming up in the next 9 episodes. But other than that, the pacing is good. There is no slow time. It's one of those you have to pay attention to every detail, because those details may actually come back already, and you'll be like, okay, this is going to play a part later on or in the next episode. So I give this, and Pacino as a Jewish man with a somewhat thick Yiddish accent, I believe, or it could be Hebrew accent. I don't know if there's a difference. My girlfriend's gonna kill me on this one. He sells it. He sells it well because it's Pacino. But it's filmed independently. It's not like a big name company that filmed it either. So
it's Amazon Prime that did this. It's an Amazon Prime original, like production company and everything.
And I was reading up on it. There was an interview with the writers of the show, and the director, which they had no idea they were going to get Pacino. Like, he's the one that came forward and showed interest in the show, wanting to be on it. And they were like, never in a million years did we think that somebody with the caliber of Al Pacino would even have this on his radar. And the fact that he did was just beyond our imagination. So, like I said, watch it, but be warned that there are, especially in the flashbacks, there are some heavy-duty graphic scenes from all sorts of different concentration camps during the World War, and there's obviously a lot of talking about it as well. So enjoy it. I'm hoping, I don't know how it's going to end, but obviously I'm hoping that there may be a second season, but if this is the only season they have, it's off to a great start. Like you guys said, it's on Amazon Prime, and so you don't have to buy any attachments or anything. It's on Stars or Showtime or anything like that. And let me know what you guys think, because I would love to really debate on this or talk about this and see what people's different point of views are. So yeah, that's cool. It. That's my thing.
Awesome. I gotta catch it. Catch it. Cat. Is that the right?
You gotta catch
term?
them all.
Yeah, catch them all. Pokemon. Actually, I gotta watch the remake of Pokemon on Netflix. It looks terrible.
It does.
It's okay.
Real random.
It's like the Pokemons look very much like the Pokemons in Detective Pikachu, but the entire thing is CGI, so they don't really stand out as much as they did in Detective Pikachu. But it's a good scene by scene almost.
Yeah, I definitely. I'll probably enjoy it because it's like it'll be like nostalgia to me, but it looks. But whatever, that's one for another day. Maybe I'll review that next week or one of these days. All right, guys.
William,
so yeah, William, what's the two choices for next week?
2 choices for next week. One of them is on Vudu, free, and it is 8 seconds.
Okay.
It's a biopic, and the other one is on Netflix, and it's The Craft.
Okay.
Kraft?
Like
Kraft mac and cheese?
Like no, not like Kraft and cheese, like The Craft with
But that's
God, I hate
is that a wrestling movie?
That's not a wrestling movie.
Thought we were doing wrestling movies next week.
Wait, I thought that we were recording a wrestling show, but then dropping at the end of April. Or are we doing a wrestling show and then dropping it next week? Because if that's the case, then I've got 2 other different movies, completely different movies.
Yeah, we're doing the what do you call it, the wrestling one next week.
Oh,
all right, scratch that, then, boys.
Scratch that. I'm gonna save that till next time.
So let's just redo that little part there.
Okay. Yeah, let me just grow up real quick to where 3 Idiots and a Mic. What were the 2 movies? Arguing with Myself was one of them, and the
Ladies of
Arguing with My Family and the Story of the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
All right. So
let's start again.
Here. Go ahead, whenever you want.
Oh, okay. So next week we are going to do another themed special guest show, which is going to be Dave Rosenbluth coming on from Kicking Out at 2, which is a wrestling podcast. So the 2 movies that I picked to make everybody feel at home, or to make him feel at home, is the first choice is Fighting with My Family. And the second choice is The Story of the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, which is a documentary on Netflix. So those are the 2 votes. Both of them are great. One of them, obviously, very much about the women of wrestling breaking down barriers and in the 80s. And the other one is a semi-biopic about one of the wrestlers that made it big in the WWE company. So both of them enjoyable.
Awesome.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome. That's going to be exciting. All right, guys. So thank you. Or before I say thank you, sorry, I got to plug everything. If you enjoy our show, go to manbitesfilm.com and check out all of our other shows. And of course, Cellar Door Season 2 is dropping.
Yes.
Dropped?
It just dropped this week. Yes.
Just dropped. Cool. There you go. And of course, also visit our sister site, diverselygeek.org, and visit our brother from another mother, John, over on YouTube at Narcotic Casserole. Thank you, Louis.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you, William.
Thank you, Brandon, very much.
Yeah, I'm going to say my name for a 3rd time. I'm Brandon, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of Man Bites Film.
Yes.
Cue the drums.
Da-da-da-da-da-dum.